New tonight, the number of people drinking alcohol is at its lowest number in 90 years.
90 years, and some of your favorite wines have plenty of bottles, but not enough buyers. And it's already cost the Houston economy about $70 million.
Amanda Henderson explains how local businesses are now fighting back.
Hundreds of bottles of wine are on the walls at Houston Wine Merchant.
Thank you. Let's see what's inside the bag.
If you want one taken down, manager Antonio Gianola is around. And we'll teach you what he knows.
And then right here, same thing, but the bottle size is just different, so it just looks different.
Hundreds of bottles are delivered to the Montrose area store weekly. The orders reflecting current drinking trends.
From the small to the large, we're all having to deal with the changes that are happening.
And happening quickly. Silicon Valley Bank says last year, the wine market went down $1.3 billion.
Just for the Houston, Harris County area, that 3.4% equates to $67 million.
Is there something that can be done to kind of reverse the trend of decrease in sales at this point?
With one entire generation drinking so much less, it's certainly forcing restaurants to be more creative.
Joe Monastero with the Texas Restaurant Association says around 25% of Gen Z says they drink alcohol. That's half the rate when compared to Gen X and Millennials.
There's a huge supply availability right now as a result of it. And especially if we're talking about wine.
There's a place right here in Houston looking to fight back against that problem.
We all got into this to have fun, right?
Brandon Kern works with the Texas Wine School, where you take classes on wine or buy yourself a bottle. Different brands are on display everywhere you look, even downstairs in storage.
With all these bottles here, there's obviously still a demand for wine, correct?
Yeah, I think the demand for wine is still strong.
Which is why it doesn't surprise Kern to see hundreds of bottles being stored here for clients.
These are usually higher end, fine wines that people want to hold on to for special occasions years down the road.
He says this reflects a current sales trend.
We're seeing growth, ironically, at the higher end, but I think less kind of commodity consumption.
And watching the sales trend closely to ensure the bottles they bring in will eventually be sold.
So I don't think it's doomsday for Napa Valley, for example, but I think Napa realizes that they've made a lot too much wine.
Part of the surplus issue has to do with the fact that some wines are developed years in advance, when the market can look completely different. Monastero tells me, based on the market right now, it is possible a few years down the road that we could have a wine shortage if the demand rises back up to where it once was.
It's hard news to swallow for a lot of folks. Amanda Henderson, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Not exactly the weekend for Vino Alfresco style, David Paul.